Ahead of 2026 budget presentation, Senate passes 54.46 trillion naira 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy.
It's a relief, especially coming at this time of the year.
A new dawn for the elderly. First Lady rolls out support to 9,500 senior citizens nationwide.
Women are usually victims.
Women survivors of terror attacks get rapid support as Office of the National Security Advisor puts up recovery initiative. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news at 9 on NTA. I am Elizabeth Omori. Tonight, Benny Adams, the very busy businessman, will serve us some business reports. Benny?
Well, the markets across Africa is in the sea of red, but Nigeria escaped marginally with a 0.1%, giving room for investment into the beers. Investors also went home with about more than 14 billion naira. We'll give you details in the course of the bulletin.
Of course, and sportsman Bade Adeleye will bring us latest in the world of sports.
Well, Elizabeth, not the best of news coming from Egypt now, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria currently trail Egypt in a pre-AFCON friendly.
Thank you, gentlemen. Do endeavor to follow this newscast live on our website, nc.ng/live, and other handles displayed on the screen. Now the news. As both executive and the legislature finalized plans for the presentation of the 2026 budget estimate to the National Assembly, the Senate has passed the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, indicating 54.46 trillion naira as proposed revenue and expenditure for the incoming year. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The approval of the three-year economic and revenue projections came 24 hours after the Senate Committee on Finance interacted with the National Economic Team and heads of key revenue-generating agencies. The Chairman Senate Committee on Finance said Senate is in agreement with all the estimates except the projected crude oil benchmark, which it brought down due to market volatility.
Prices of 64.85, 64.30, and 65.50 US dollars per barrel for 2026, 2027, and 2028 respectively be reduced to $60 for 2026, $65 for 2027, and $70 for 2028. This is in recognition of the global geopolitical tensions in Europe and the Middle East and the sensitivity of global crude oil prices.
These figures are very, very realistic having regard to our present-day economic circumstance.
Only other area that I would just think that we should be very cautious about is in the area of the daily production as well, because our average production is still about 1.6.
If for any reason at all the circumstances change, this will still be represented to us and the House of Representatives for us to either amend, reject, or add or subtract.
Other executive requests granted by the Senate include confirmation of appointees, among them 3 non-carrier ambassadors. Another key feature at Tuesday's plenary is the appeal from the Senate urging federal and state government intervention in support of local farmers whose survival is threatened by multiple factors, as solicited in a motion from Senator Danjuma Goje.
Nigeria's growing dependence on food import will weaken national food sovereignty, undermine domestic value chain, distort local markets, as well as discourage the development of agro-processing industries, thereby exposing the national economy to global price volatility and foreign exchange pressures.
We talk about federal government. What happened to the subnationals? What are the state government doing in terms of supporting the farmers in the respective states? This is very important.
Meanwhile, Senate has asked the National Security Advisor and Department of State Services to investigate fake reports circulated on social media that the President of the Senate suffered a health emergency and was rushed to a hospital in London.
The former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, was equally reported a few days ago to have died. This is not a good report about the leaders of our country. Not just investigate, but to punish the promoters of such negative news.
Those in support say aye, those against say nay. That is how it. I think that's all we can do. We can't stop people from writing. You know, the internet is garbage in, garbage out.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has expressed concern over continued uncertainty surrounding the delayed clearance of Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft and its crew in neighboring Burkina Faso, urging the federal government to leverage frameworks of ECOWAS and the African Union to resolve the issue. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports that the House also engaged the federal government's economic management team on the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework submitted by President Bola Tinubu.
Members of the House Committees on Finance and National Planning took on the Ministers of Finance and his budget counterpart on the key parameters of the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which outlines projected expenditure of 54.5 trillion naira for 2026, with projected revenue estimated at 34.3 trillion naira. Lawmakers urged revenue-generating agencies to plug all loopholes that accounted for revenue shortfalls this year.
The NNPC gave PPT, number 33. The 2035 is 6.5 trillion. And the 2026, we put almost 7.9 trillion. We need to look to try to bring in this revenue, which is very much needed, but we must also keep an eye on the fact that how would we adjust in the event that it is not forthcoming.
Our assumptions we believe are reasonable. And where there is underperformance in any of this head, that is where we need to interrogate and see why is it not bringing the revenue.
On the delayed clearance of the Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft in Burkina Faso, the House emphasizes protection of Nigeria's sovereignty as well as national security interests.
Mandate the House of Committee on Foreign Affairs, Defense, Nigerian Air Force, and National Security to jointly interface with the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of External Affairs, and other relevant intelligence agencies to ensure prompt resolution of all issues related to the aircraft and its crew.
We need to also look in the direction of retooling our foreign service, our diplomatic channels.
The need to expand the Abuja-Lokoja highway was highlighted in another resolution as the House advocates its inclusion as a priority project in the next national budget.
Relevant agency to immediately open the closed section of Gogolada, Abaji, Kotonkarifi, Lokoja Expressway, particularly during this Xmas, to ease traffic and congestion for travelers.
9 bills, mostly seeking establishment of federal medical centers in parts of the country, were passed in plenary, while a bill to establish the Federal Capital Territory Scholarship Board scaled second reading. From the National Assembly, Mitari Ikben, NT.
Away from issues at the National Assembly, Nigeria will achieve greater success if it depends more on the quality of its human capital than its natural resources, as federal government implores stakeholders to deepen implementation of human capital development programs. Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadejia, said human capital development requires collective action. He stated this during the fourth quarter meeting of the core working group of the Human Capital Development Program at the State House. The meeting reviewed progress made on the implementation of HCD 2.0 roadmap, fostering strategic partnerships among stakeholders to align and maximize impact in achieving sustainable development targets.
as a reason, we've identified the need to really work on federal and subnational coordination if we are going to go to specifics and details on implementing the HCD program. So Dr. Ado's role is essentially to fill in that role by giving him the responsibility of coordinating the federal MDAs to achieve HCD 2.0 objectives. We expect greater prioritization.
As we expand, even the donor ecosystem is expanding, there is definitely the need to ensure that as we incubate and nurture the program, we're also thinking of the embedding and mainstreaming into especially existing MDAs and states.
Coming from Budget Office of the Federation, we have a very powerful convening power because we allocate resources. We also track resources, and then we also monitor how those resources are being implemented. And I want to assure you that we will ensure that all appropriation, all allocation to MDAs are SCD focused and SCD related.
Focused on identifying implementation gaps, emerging issues, and brainstorm on strategic solutions to accelerate Human Capital Development 2.0 program and develop an action plan. Now to eldercare, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has flagged off the disbursement of 200,000 naira each to 9,500 senior citizens nationwide, and that the Renewed Hope Initiative Elder Support Scheme Season 3. At a ceremony in Abuja where she handed out the donation to 250 beneficiaries, she says it is crucial to prioritize the aged who cleared the path for the younger generation. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
2023, December each year has become associated with financial empowerment for senior citizens across the country.
I'm not doing any other thing apart from the little pension I receive.
Flight Sergeant Abasi Essien, retired, was working out how to apply his meager pension during the Yuletide season amid the unique demands of the month of January when he got a call inviting him to the third Renewed Hope Initiative Elder Support Scheme.
This is the first time I say, apart from my pension, I've received any other thing. Because today that I've been remembered. Oh.
His account reflects the theme of the edition, Finding Joy in Old Age, which was flagged off nationwide by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu at the Mambila Barracks, Abuja, with 250 defense and police veterans.
Through this scheme, we have continued to express our gratitude and care for the men and women who have labored to build the Nigeria we are all proud to be part of today. These 9,500 selected beneficiaries will receive 200,000 naira each across the nation. Each state of the Federation has received the sum of 50 million naira, including FCT and DIPOA.
She says the intervention under the Social Investment Program of RHI embodies ongoing efforts to ensure that elderly citizens live with dignity and joy in a nation that genuinely cares for its own.
My advice to our senior citizens is to do all that is possible to find joy in old age. Let us also find purpose in community, compassion, and care. I encourage you to continue playing your parts by staying healthy and active.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme stands as a powerful demonstration that national service is not forgotten with age or retirement.
And today's support scheme further demonstrates your deep understanding of the sacrifices made by our elderly defense and police veterans.
The gift was well received along with its intended message.
It's a relief, especially coming at this time of the year, Christmas, and then by next year you begin to think of, trying to survive the expenses that you made during this Yuletide.
Now nobody will send her out or cut small for school fees. Then the other one buy other things in the house to make January look good for us.
I put some in my business.
Then I use so that I will not finish everything at time. After Christmas, we don't have what to eat again. So I'm going to use it very, very well.
Morning, officer, sir.
Apart from providing financial support and food items, the intervention also tended to the physical well-being of the beneficiaries with a free medical outreach. From Alero Aziza Event Center, Mambila Barracks, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
The disbursement also took place in other parts of the country. In this report, Jigawa, Gombe and Borno states are captured. For the senior citizens in Jigawa State, today remains unforgettable. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that they couldn't hide their joy as they were empowered financially to improve their livelihoods.
Let us all find purpose in community, compassion and care. Let us remember that aging gracefully is not just about longevity but about being surrounded by love, support and respect.
Murjanatu Hassan in Maiduguri says the targeted segment and the state government appreciated the First Lady for prioritizing the needs of the elderly in the state.
As we approach this festive season, it is crucial to emphasize the importance of prioritizing our elderly citizens in our initiatives.
This move by the Renewed Hope Initiative, the state governments insist, translates to better days ahead for the aging population. And it's time to take a break. The news continues shortly. Thanks for staying with us, and you're still watching the news at 9 on NTA. In a world where the minds of children often speak in whispers, the My Child Psych Initiative has taken another step towards strengthening child well-being with its ultimate caregiver enlightenment symposium and the launch of a new resource book for parents and guardians. Isaac Jibo brings highlights from a gathering where knowledge flowed, hearts connected, and caregivers found renewed purpose.
Child Psyche Initiative organized the Care Summit on that theme, United in Care, Guiding Hearts and Growing Minds, to equip caregivers with the knowledge and tools necessary to support children's emotional and psychological development. The founder, China Clifford, highlighted the importance of informed caregiving in shaping resilient and well-rounded young minds.
Children needs a safe space, and the lack of safe spaces in Nigeria for kids to express themselves emotionally. And then we have Ever Are You Okay, which deals about abuse in the family.
A lot of moral decadence, like we are having the issue with the terrorists, we are also having the issue with children not going to school, and then there are rising cases of autism in the society.
The summit also featured the launch of a new book by the founder, offering caregivers practical guidance and insight to enhance their role in children's growth and development. In Abuja, Isaac Tibo, NTA News.
Through innovation and communications, the present administration has reaffirmed its commitment to harnessing technology as a powerful tool to deliver developmental programs and essential services that directly improve the lives of Nigerians, including those in rural and underserved communities. These issues took center stage during a visit by the presidential media team to Galaxy Backbone, the federal government's Information and Communications Technology Solutions Agency. Chimdema Undbisi brings us details.
A tour of facilities at the Galaxy Backbone by the presidential media team, an impressive expression that the government entity has the capacity to deliver critical ICT infrastructure, solutions, services, and data hosting for government entities as well as the private sector. Services described as vital at a time when government agencies are rapidly transitioning from analog systems to digital platforms to enhance efficiency, transparency, and service delivery.
What you have there is to me mind-blowing. It's a shame that in Nigeria people are still using some servers outside Nigeria, saying that they are more reliable. But if you have a facility here that works 24/7, there's no reason why all of us should not be using Galaxy Backbone as our main server. I think you should market it more to the private sector.
We are talking of over 5,000 kilometers of fiber that runs across 30 states. We platform to secure ICT solutions, software, and applications.
Among the suggestions was a call for rebranding. This, the team noted, would help attract greater patronage from the private sector and subnational governments. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
To women and security, in a move to complement Nigeria's counter-terrorism and peace-building strategies by placing women survivors at the center of recovery and sustainable development, the National Counter-Terrorism Center has launched a strategic initiative aimed at supporting women affected by terrorism and violent extremism. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Women affected by terrorism, human trafficking and violent extremism often endure long-lasting trauma. Yet their experiences are frequently overlooked within conventional response frameworks. More than 17 million Nigerians need humanitarian aid, mostly women and children, while human trafficking continues to disproportionately affect women. This gap informed the launch of the Safe Zone Initiative, a program designed to support the rehabilitation, reintegration, and resilience of women survivors of terrorism, human trafficking, and violent extremism across Nigeria.
Most conflict areas, these women are violated. So this is meant to have a reach to them. Let them speak out. If they need counseling, let them go through counseling. And we're also trying to see a way to get them to fend for themselves, rebuild themselves, rehabilitate them.
Women are usually victims of this kind of problem, and it is not enough to just bring them back. It is about deliberately looking out for them so that they are socially and financially and even mentally reintegrated properly.
NCTC will be playing an umbrella role to ensure that the affected women are reached and all that they need to recover is done.
The Safe Zone project aligns with Nigeria's 2017 National Action Plan on preventing and countering violent extremism and reinforces the women, peace and security agenda, placing women at the center of peace building and recovery efforts. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Talking health now, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, says Nigeria remains firmly committed to eliminating malaria despite significant challenges over the past year. Speaking at the minister debrief meeting by the Advisory on Malaria Elimination in Nigeria to review key recommendations from the third AMEN meeting, the minister highlights remarkable progress, including Lagos State's achievement in reducing malaria test positivity, a model that can be replicated across the country.
Q2 2026, the first nets will be produced, and 10 million every year, hundreds of jobs, and that will be not only for Nigeria but for Africa. Already you have, and more importantly, the confidence, because it's produced here. It shows that we can also organize to produce. So for us, it's a big push, it's a big success in terms of local manufacturing.
A major milestone announced at the debrief meeting was the groundbreaking of Nigeria's first insecticidal net manufacturing plant in Ogun State, expected to begin production of 10 million bed nets annually by the second quarter of 2026. In other news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it will not succumb to the accusations by some political actors across the country questioning its operations. A statement by the head of media and publicity of the commission says a checklist of arrest and prosecution by the EFCC in the last 2 years shows that strong members of the ruling party are being investigated, along with some opposition politicians. It adds that it will not accept any attempt to intimidate or blackmail it into abandoning allegations of corruption against anyone. In a related development, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, says it has received a formal petition from Aliko Dangote through his lawyer against the CEO of the NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed. In a statement, ICPC says the petition will be duly investigated. Now, in furtherance of the expansion of its conglomerate industrial giant, Bua Foods plc played host to officials of the Ministry of State of Industry and Nigerian Sugar Development Council, who came on a progress tour of the Lasuco Sugar Company. Beyond the handshakes, their delegation's visit is to ascertain the progress made by Bua Foods through Lasuco at its sugar backward integration site, which will soon be completed. They were taken on a tour of the facility by the Group Executive Director, Kabiru Rabiu, who briefed the delegation on the remarkable progress made so far in delivering what is set to become Nigeria's first fully integrated sugar manufacturing company located in Lafiaji, Kwara State.
What we are building here in Lafiaji, inshallah, will be the largest sugar mill, sugar plantation, and sugar refinery in this country. It's 10,000 tons of cane processing capacity per day. We will be generating 35 megawatts of electricity from our gas, and we will be producing 20 million liters of ethanol per annum, inshallah.
Minister of State for Industry, Dr. John Onwa-Eno, who led the delegation, said the pace of work done so far showed that the nation's drive towards self-sufficiency in sugar production is carrying on.
First, it's amazing, to see the kinds of things that I've seen on ground in terms of, the necessary infrastructure. So all of these already make sense to the extent that there's a reduction in terms of our country's reliance on imported raw sugar. That's the bottom line.
As part of their visit, the delegation paid a courtesy call on the Emir of Lafiaji, Alhaji Mohammed Kudu Kau, at his palace. Now, to strengthen innovation and take its services to greater heights in the hospitality industry, a new chapter has opened in the journey of the Promise Fast Foods and Catering Services, as a new state-of-the-art corporate headquarters has been inaugurated in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Ijoma Ugoke reports that the event, which is part of activities to mark the 25 years anniversary of the organization, was attended by captains of industry and dignitaries from all walks of life.
And of the Holy Spirit.
The grand opening of the Promise Fast Food and Catering Services new corporate headquarters was made even more special as it forms part of the achievements of the company in 25 years. The new edifice, which is a testament of its commitment to growth and excellence, is a state-of-the-art facility equipped with modern amenities and technology designed to enhance customer experience and support the company's continued expansion. President of the Promise Fast Foods and Catering Services, Dr. Oluwatoyin Alabi, while reflecting on the company's journey from a humble beginning, highlighted their commitment to quality service and consistency.
We are keen into the federal government program, Cuisine Beyond Border, whereby Nigerian cuisine will be taken to foreign nations to hand foreign exchange for Nigeria. And those 3 nations has been penciled down. We are going to be in London, United Kingdom, we are going to be in Houston, and we are going to be in Berlin.
We started with nothing, not spoon to cook, not cooler to store.
Thank you so much, Tony, for being who you are, for the successes that you allow us to see, that God can do something from nothing.
It takes a lot of courage, a lot of determination, a lot of focus. He knows where he's going.
The grand opening of the new office marks a new chapter in the brand, whose journey started as a family business in the year 2000 in a room. With continued innovation in the business, it has now expanded to over 28 outlets in Rivers, Lagos, and Bayelsa states. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTN News.
To electrification, the Gombe State government is partnering the Rural Electrification Agency to expand the renewable energy market and increase access to electricity in the state. Joshua Ojito reports.
The Rural Electrification Agency provides the platform, and Gombe State government leveraged the opportunity to electrify its communities.
We are blessed with
At this strategic roundtable engagement, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the state government and the Rural Electrification Agency as renewable energy service companies commit to deploy solar mini-grids to the state.
I want us all to work together. For investors, be confident. For sure, there are opportunities in Nigeria. We must harness those opportunities and ensure that we change the tide and everybody benefits.
Already, 23 mini-grids projects are currently being developed in Gombe State to provide electricity to communities.
So we have funding and we developed operational framework, one whereby, Your Excellency, all you need to do is to convince the private sector to come and take this money from us and take it to the state, to your own state. And that is why we have this roundtable. But we have other opportunities that we built in collaboration with the state, a kind of a PPP arrangement.
So far, 20 states signed the Memorandum of Understanding with the Rural Electrification Agency to access counterpart fund from the agency to light up communities and power their economies. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Time to take another break, and when we return, business news will be up with a very busy businessman, Benny.
Good to know you're here, and it's time to talk business. We begin with cheering news for pensioners and would-be pensioners. As the federal government says, pension assets hit 26.66 trillion naira. Just as PENCOM disburses 577.2 billion naira out of the 758 billion naira pension intervention fund by the federal government. This was disclosed today in Abuja by the Director General of PENCOM, Omolola Olowororo, at a media conference. According to the DG, the last 365 days of stewardship has been marked by stronger risk management, deeper expertise, and greater capacity in managing pension funds and strengthening governance regulations, leading to zero wait time for retirement benefits and a disbursement of more than 577 billion out of the 785 billion promised by President Tinubu-led administration.
On tables, medicine bought, debt settled, and dignity preserved. Our focus remains clear: to expand coverage, deepen trust, improve investment outcomes, strengthen supervision, and protect retirees and all RSA holders.
Almost 20 years, we were just only hopeless retirees. But Bola Tinubu and his choice of DG PENCOM have come to change our story.
Within the coming week, every outstanding debt will be paid.
And talking about debt, Nigeria's debt profile has been a concern in recent times, with the country's total public debt standing at 152.39 trillion naira as of June 30th, 2025. This has raised concerns about the country's ability to service its debt and achieve sustainable economic growth. At a workshop in Abuja, policymakers and the subnationals were handed guidelines for borrowing, which the Debt Management Office says can no longer be ignored.
The borrowing guidelines basically explain the major laws that govern borrowing. So the idea is to equip them with all the skills, the knowledge they need, so that each time they want to borrow, they are ready and the process is smooth. Ultimately, the expectation is that the funds that they raise will be used for development in the state.
Most importantly, the interest. You need to know the interest on every borrowing you are about to take, and the validity of that interest.
When you follow guidelines in borrowing, it helps, to, as I said, plan what you want to do, what you want to borrow, and also ensure discipline.
While looking at the markets at the close of transaction today, major markets across Africa closed with Nigeria's exchange appreciated marginally by 0.01% to stay in the green zone. This is as investors gained 14 billion naira, with 31 gainers led by Alex against 26 gainers led by HM Cole. South Africa JSE Top 40 was down 0.43%, while the Tunisia Tune Index was also down 0.07%, giving room for new investors in the BS. That is it on business at this time. Elizabeth, you can take it from here.
Thank you so much, Bernie. President Bola Tinubu felicitates with Senator Ifeanyi Godwin Ararume, an astute politician and accomplished businessman, on his birthday. In a statement, the president commends him for his years of service to the nation and contributions to its peace, unity and progress. Describing Ararume as a resolute politician, President Tinubu wishes him a happy 67th birthday and prays that God Almighty grants him more years of good health and strength. Let's take another break.
Let's talk sports on Network News tonight as the Super Eagles of Nigeria this evening suffered a 2-1 defeat to the Pharaohs of Egypt in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations preparatory friendly. Sabah Mahmoud opened the scoring for Egypt in the 20th minute of the encounter before Chidozie Awaziem equalized for Nigeria in first half added time. Mustafa Mohamed netted the decisive goal in the 53rd minute to secure victory for the Egyptians. With the game gone now, Nigeria will shift their attention to their AFCON campaign, having been drawn in Group C alongside Tanzania, Tunisia and Uganda, with the opening group match scheduled for December the 23rd against Tanzania. Now, Paris Saint-Germain and France forward Ousmane Dembele has been named the Men's Player of the Year at the FIFA Best Awards. The 28-year-old who won the Ballon d'Or in September picked up the FIFA award in Qatar on Tuesday after helping PSG to 4 trophies in the 2024-2025 season. The Team of the Year featured stars from PSG, Barcelona, Liverpool, Chelsea and Real Madrid. Santiago Montiel claimed the Puskás Award. Gianluigi Donnarumma was named Goalkeeper of the Year, and PSG coach Luis Enrique won Coach of the Year award after leading the club to multiple titles, including the UEFA Champions League. And just before we go, let's let you know that the Carabao Cup quarter-final between Chelsea and Cardiff City currently still is goalless. All right.
And congratulations for your award. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, moving on. The Osiegbu and Usoegbu families of Owa Kingdom in Ika Northeast local government area of Delta State announced the passing of their mother, grandmother and great-grandmother, Chief Mary Ndidi Osiegbu. Service of songs for the late Urue of Owa Kingdom holds on Thursday, 18th of December 2025 at a residence, 63 Abraka Road, Boji, Owa, Delta State. Funeral service Friday 19th of December at St. Peter's Anglican Church, Okobo Street, Boji, Owa, while reception follows immediately at Federal Road Safety Training School, Owa, Alero, Delta State. Thanksgiving Sunday 21st December at the same Anglican Church. Now, the family of Ungu Namane Nwoko of Umu Ozunchi, Kindred Etiti, Amankwo Village, Udi, local government area of Enugu State, announces the transition to glory of the son, husband, father, brother, grandfather, uncle, and in-law Parafael Odo Okwo, aged 83. Burial arrangements, Christian wake and Holy Mass on Wednesday 17th at Ogboro Etiti, Amankwo, Thursday 28th December, body leaves Eastern Mortician, 9th mile Ugwo to his hometown with a brief stop over at Onya Chonam Town Hall, ETT. Lying in state and burial mass at his home, followed by interment. Thanksgiving Mass holds on Sunday, 21st December 2025 at Christ the King Catholic Parish, Okpokoro. Ikechukwu Levinus Okwo for the family. And that's the news. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good night.